Morning, everyone. Hope your day has started off well, or your day has gone well whenever you're watching this. But I'm going to be talking about the opposite of when your day goes well. When things are going not too good, so to speak, when you have troubles. And this morning, as I was reading another passage, this Psalm 121 came to mind. It says, I will look into the hills. From whence does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Where do we look for our help when we have trouble? Who do we depend on? Do we look around for those around us to help us? Or do you do like I do a lot of times and look to self and just say, you know what, I'll just fix it myself. I'll just fix it myself, or I'll just do it myself. You ever heard that one before? You know, if you want it done right, just do it yourself. And that's what is ingrained in us as a society. You know what? If you want it done right, just do it yourself. I can be really guilty of that at times. And, you know, I can really be guilty in my workplace. You know, a lot of times I don't pass things off, so to speak, as I should, and just say, you know what, I'll just do it myself, because I have a fear that no one else can do it right. And you might be saying, well, Kevin, there's nothing wrong with taking pride in your work and, you know, wanting things done right. I'll agree with that. The problem is there's a bit of arrogance associated with that. I'm going to do it myself because I can do it better than everyone else. And I can take that same arrogance into problems in my life sometimes. Well, I know that. Let me tell you something. I firmly know and believe and am ingrained in the thought and the fact, not the thought, the fact, that everything that happens to me, good and bad, passes through God's hands. Everything. He either ordained it to happen or He allowed it to happen. So, there is no question in my mind. So if I believe that, and I believe that my help comes from the Lord, why do I try to fix things on my own so many times? I would argue it's that same arrogance. Actually, it's a worse arrogance that I have about my workplace. What I'm basically saying is that I'm not going to give it to you, God, because I can probably fix it better. Not necessarily fix it better, but I can fix it like I want it to be fixed. And then suddenly I'm in control. And that's when all goes wrong. Doesn't get fixed properly. I fix it temporarily. All I'm capable of is putting a Band-Aid on it most of the time. That's the extent of my abilities. You know, when you have a serious health problem, you go to the doctor. You don't try to fix it yourself. You know, you don't just put a Band-Aid on it and rub some dirt on it and get back in there. Some people do, but it's not a good practice. When you need help, you go to an expert. But we have if you're a child of God, your daddy is as expert as it gets. There is no one else that knows anything better. Your best friend doesn't know how to fix it better. Your spouse doesn't know how to fix it better. Your mama don't know how to fix it better than he does. Our Heavenly Father knows us from the inside out. It says He can number the hairs on our head. He knows us better than we know ourselves. And I think a lot of times the reason, you know, as I sit here and I'm being convicted as I'm talking about this, the reason that I choose to fix it myself, and I'll tell you, you know, I'll make the comment, well, I didn't, you know, I just figured it wasn't that big a deal. And sometimes it's not that big a deal. The reason I choose to fix it myself and not look into the hills from where my help comes from is because if I asked Him to fix it, He's going to fix it His way. And that's not necessarily my way. It should be. Absolutely should be. I'm not sitting here defending it. But if I want it done right, I need to take the attitude, well, if you want it done right, Kevin, you better give it to God. If you want it done right, let Him fix it. Not, if you want it done right, you better do it yourself. That's not right. I can't fix it. You know, there are numerous things in my life I've tried to fix. Here's the other part, is that when I ask Him to fix it, be fully submissive to whatever He says. Sometimes the answer is no. It's no. I'm not going to fix that. You need that in your life. I put that there for a reason. That's another reason that we'll probably just try to fix it ourselves. I took it to God and He said no, but I really want this fixed. We have to have the mindset of Paul, who said, 3 times I prayed that He'd remove this thorn from my flesh. And His answer was no. So I'll proudly, that's the other thing, I'll proudly boast in my infirmities. I got this problem in my life. Now this is contrary to our thought process. I've got this problem in my life. I prayed that God would take it away. He didn't. It's still there. So I'm going to brag about this problem because I know God's going to work something out through it. And And that one's an easy one for me to sit here and talk about on this video. But it can be a hard one to put into practice. But if I'm going to trust him, then it means I have to trust him when he says, no. You need that in your life. And we have to understand that, God, the God of heaven doesn't just pour out blessings. Because of the sin curse, we have to suffer. And no one's signing up for that, including me. I don't want to sign up. I don't want to suffer. But it's part of life, and it's necessary. Because we messed this planet up in the beginning, suffering is necessary to mold us and to shape us into who he intends for us to be. And we can look at that begrudgingly, or we can look at that for what it is. I gave the example in my Sunday school class. It's like he's painting this masterpiece for our life. And we have to go through hard times to get the best out of it. We don't like it. I hope you're not going through one right now. But we all will. If we live long enough, we're going to suffer. And we can feel bad about it, and we can try to fix it ourselves, and we can mess it up and get down in a hole, or we can look to the hills from whence our help comes from. I hope that's what you're doing today. My goodness, losing my voice there. I hope that's what you're doing today. You're not trying to fix it yourself. You're not depending on other people, but you're depending on the maker of heaven and earth. God bless you. I hope you have a great day.